let's go on to our next topic. I want to talk about the game of the week that we didn't think was going to be the game of the week, and that was the Bills versus the Patriots. I mean, what the fuck was that? Without a question, the biggest shock of the week came whenever the Bills couldn't beat the piss poor New England Patriots. One of the biggest fantasy takeaways that I had from that game was James Cook continued high usage. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, James Cook lost his starting role. Latavius Murray's the best thing ever." A lot of people were shitting on James Cook at the end of week 6, heading into week 7. If week 7 told us anything, it's that James Cook is still that guy in the backfield. I feel like you should have no issue starting James Cook as your RB2 going forward. Also, like him as a potential buy low candidate. If someone is genuinely still concerned that Latavius Murray is going to fight for a share of that backfield, what do you guys think about James Cook going forward?
I mean, I feel like I kind of talked to Juice about this. He was at my house when we were watching the Bills game, and first thing he noticed obviously was Latavius Murray. I think he was the starter 2 weeks ago. Um, Personally, I was never really concerned. Like, I mean, yeah, it sucked to see that, but I even told him, I'm like, dude, I wouldn't be that worried. There's no way that James Cook wasn't going to be the best running back or lead this backfield, in my opinion. It sucked that 1 week where you saw that and he kind of like maybe lost some trade value if you were even considering trading him. But I mean, to me, he's the clear cut best running back. He can do it all, like compared to the other guys. He's the best pass catching back on their team. He can also run the ball. I don't know. I'm not really too worried about him personally.
Yeah, having James Cook on my team, he's not a guy that I'm like super excited about, but I'd say he has a safe floor. I mean, he's had 10 or more fantasy points in 4 out of his 7 games. He doesn't get many touchdowns. He just doesn't have much of a ceiling. But I definitely like him as a mid RB2 to give you, a serviceable 10 to 15 fantasy points every week, which is valuable when, like we discussed earlier, there's not many running backs being consistent right now. I mean, this is one of the
No.
worst running back years I could remember. So it might not sound like a lot, but 13 points is okay if
Yep.
you're getting it right now from your running back too. Um, it kind of goes game by game. Josh Allen kind of stares at him in the face a couple times and doesn't check him the ball, but he's a great receiving back, and he showcased that this past week. So yeah, I think he's a top 16, maybe top 18 guy moving forward.
Yeah, just to give you an idea of the guys as far as week 8 projection goes, these are the guys who are around them. So it's Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones, Madison, James Cook, Rashad White, Damian Pierce. Out of all those guys, I think I'm probably starting James Cook over all of them. I think
Yeah,
I
The
think
only
he
one
I
I
would
think I
say
would
so.
take over would probably be
Yeah.
Joe Mixon, just because uh, they're a good offense. Cincinnati's a good offense as well, and Mixon's going to see all of the red zone touches and goal line touches.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
agree with
other than
that.
him, I'm taking Cook over everybody else.
yeah. So whenever
Yeah,
you look
it
at
is like
guys in that area, it's kind of like Cook is like a
Yeah,
great option to
I like
have.
him as a buy low for sure moving forward.
you think
Or I mean, buy him when you can. I mean, you can probably use that Latavius Murray shit against him against the owner
Yeah,
right now to scoop him lower than you could have whenever the season started.
yeah.
I like him moving forward.
What was that? Sep?
no, I was gonna ask because we mentioned Gibbs earlier. I was wondering if you think that there's a chance that you could trade for Gibbs and maybe like a receiver to get James Cook if he was even worth that.
Man, so here's the
You mean
difference
trade
between
Gibbs and
like
a receiver to get Cook?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
it's really because I have them both. It's really that was a great question earlier talking about Gibbs and Cook because man, it's like one gives you he's the starter every week and gives you a consistent floor with upside, and the other one is an injury away from being a top 5 running back rest of the season. So it's kind of
Yeah.
it depends on what kind of depth you have on your team. If you have a lot of depth, I'll probably just hold on to Gibbs. But if you need that 10 to 15 points, I'd say
I
capitalize and
mean,
get Gibbs out for Cook.
Latavius Murray goes down and Cook's an injury away from being a top guys himself. He's just literally not seeing red zone carries or red zone or goal line
Yeah,
touches.
and I feel like
He
honestly
starts
though,
scoring
like
touchdowns, bro. He's for
I feel
real.
like even if Montgomery was to be hurt the rest of the year, I don't know if I could confidently say that Gibbs is a top 5 running back either. Though, like I just
Top
feel like
10.
the way that they
I mean-
use him is not really that dependent on how they use Montgomery. Like I feel like Montgomery and Gibbs could both be good, but they're making a conscious decision to
Yeah.
run the offense through Montgomery.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised like if Craig Reynolds or whoever the other
Yeah.
guy was took a step forward just in that smash mouth goal line.
I feel like they like Gibbs is more of like a gadgety guy, whereas like Montgomery, they kind of run the offense through him. I don't feel like they might end up trying to run the offense through Gibbs, but I feel like they use him right now as more of just like a gadget, and they
and
kinda
also let's
scheme
get this
things-
straight.
scheme things
Gibbs
through
only
him.
needs to touch the ball 10 to 15 times to drop 30 points. That's the type of guy Gibbs
Yeah.
is.
But if you had Cook, someone offered you the Gibbs trade, right?
Yeah, I'm
so
going
Gibbs
Cook.
for Cook.
I'm going Cook.
You're going Cook. Okay.
Yeah.